Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and you know Andy's here.
Am I here, Michael?
You are barely.
Oh, barely.
I'm kidding.
Merrily
kidding.
here.
He's in much better spirits this week. He had me cracking up in the bonus content, which you can find on Patreon. Patreon.com/True Crime Guys. For just $3 a month, you guys get access to these episodes early, ad-free, with that bonus content I just mentioned. I think we talked a little over 20 minutes.
Something like that.
Today.
Time flies.
Man. It does. We have fun. But today we're talking about a...
not so fun case.
Not fun case at all.
No.
Andy. Most of ours aren't, to be fair.
This isn't necessarily a palate cleanser, so to speak.
No, it is not. And it's a case that's kind of flew under our radar. My fault, really. I mean, because it's pretty current case.
Yeah.
The case of Philip Garrido. I don't mean current as in like 2026, but I mean, as of 2000s. Mm-hmm. But Philip Garrido was born in 1950 San Francisco, and he always knew that he'd be special, destined for fame and fortune.
Oh.
Well, one out of two ain't bad, right?
Well, one out of
As a young man, he knew he was going to top the charts as a famous rock musician. And when that didn't pan out, though, he had a plan B. It was something more practical, Andy, like being the next Messiah.
Fucking, that's the rock god?
Yeah.
Regular god.
Right. Well, he could also communicate with regular God.
Yeah.
So that helped him, as most messiahs can. They have a direct line. Obviously, that's number one rule of being a messiah. That's the first thing. Like, do you have a direct line? Okay, he does have a direct line.
Do you have the phone number? Do you have the number? Show me the number.
Okay, show it to me.
Okay. All right, that is the
number. Do you
number.
have any text from regular God? Okay. But yeah, this megalomaniac technically did achieve some type of fame, but I think it was a lot different from what he expected, Andy.
Yeah, a lot different.
A lot different.
No one's chanting his names from the auditorium stands,
No, God, no.
No.
All right, let's roll that intro, Andy, and let's get into it.
Fine.
Wait till you hear the story of what took place at this house, and you're going to be absolutely impressed. It's a disgusting thing that took place with me in the beginning. Go to the Federal and Bureau of Investigation, 13th floor in San Francisco, and ask for a copy of the documents that I left with them 3 days ago. This is for you, the news media, that was left in their hands. There's something powerful coming down. What's kept me busy the last several years is I completely turned my life around. And you're going to find the most powerful story coming from the witness, from the victim. If you take this a step at a time, you're going to fall over backwards. And in the end, you're going to find the most powerful, heart-rending story. And having those two children, those two girls, they slept in my arms every single night from birth. And never did I have them. I never touched them. You just have to take this a step at a time and just do what I ask you to, because you're going to be so happy that you did.
All right, well, the rock god / regular god, Philip Craig Garrido, blessed Earth with his presence on April 5th, 1951 in Contra Costa County, California, Andy. That's where his life started, and that's where the story will end.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't travel the world very much, doesn't make it very far from home?
He don't get too far away.
No.
But we really don't know much about his childhood at all. We know his dad was a forklift driver named Manuel, who always tried to charge for information about his son later on. So, he wasn't willing to give up anything, basically. Yeah. So who knows whether his upbringing really played a role in his outcome. But, maybe. Who knows? His dad thinks that, obviously, his dad doesn't take any responsibility for it. He thinks that Philip's life changed for the worst after a motorcycle accident that he experienced as a teenager.
Oh, he's pulling the old Gary Busey role.
Yeah. Sam Kinison as well. Rosie O'Donnell. Also,
yeah.
all people who were involved in some type of like bad head collision as a child, and it changed their personality, so to speak. I mean, and their whole family said that too. It's not just.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it does happen at a young age, and always at a pivotal age, where one might change their personality drastically if they were going to.
Not the Gary Busey when I was thinking of. Gary Busey was a grown actor. He was already a successful actor. Crashed a motorcycle.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the other incidents all happened when they were like teenagers.
Yeah.
So, you take it for what it's worth. But his dad said that he just wasn't the same afterwards. He says before he was happy, he was fun-loving, he was well-behaved kid, very quiet. And then he turned more isolated, angry, started doing drugs. He was uncontrollable, inconsistent.
The rebelliousness of youth.
Yes.
Well, he was preparing to be a rock star.
All from a motorcycle accident. His dad was the perfect father.
Right? So, absolutely.
And we don't really hear anything about his mother early on. All we hear about is a home of hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, her backyard, if we will, which is why I titled the episode as such.
Yeah. And I assume like most fathers in the 50s, he was probably a very loving and caring man who really was very involved in his son's life. So, like, what else can you ask for this?
It's a fucked up stereotype, Andy. But Garrido held it together enough, at least to graduate high school in 1969. By this time, he had grown his hair long, he started wearing a fringe leather jacket, and he was in a psychedelic rock band. So he's destined for fame and fortune.
Hell
and success.
Yeah. Summer of 69, baby.
The fringe leather jacket. It's freaking brilliant. Also, by this time, he was known to regularly beat his girlfriend, Christine Pereira. Not as good.
No,
that's a bad thing.
You can't do that before you become a rock star.
No,
you can't get then you don't get the court of public opinion.
He's already trying to live the life.
He's trying to be the life. He's trying to skip so many steps.
Yeah, he was skipping a lot of steps because at this time he was also charged with the rape of a 14-year-old girl.
Oh my God, he's skipping steps to just trashy person now.
Yes. And remember, he's just 18, 19 at this time. And it took nearly 3 years to charge him, but they did in 1972. But the 14-year-old girl did not testify. So they were forced to release Phillip, and he served 0 jail time.
Oh, that's
strike number one in this guy's life.
But that's an unfortunate thing that the girl was not willing to testify at the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And 1972, man. That's a tough time, dude. I mean, look how long they put it off for.
Yeah, 3 years to charge him.
She didn't want to bring any. She'd probably done moved on. 3 years later, she's 17. She's like, I don't want to think about that ever again.
Yeah.
Much less drag all that back up in a trial and be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The embarrassment that
could have brought there.
I understand.
That time, yeah.
I understand why she didn't testify. I get it. But now that he was no longer under investigation, he decided to make himself less suspicious and tie the knot with his then girlfriend Christine. And they also planned to get the hell out of Dodge and head northeast to Lake Tahoe. So
you can't testify against your spouse, so
yeah,
we should get married.
Exactly. The two settled in nicely in Lake Tahoe. Christine got a job at Harris Casino, and Phillip was going to hit it big as a rock star any day now. So, I mean, this is destined to work out.
Any day now. He knows those 3 chords.
Yeah, that's right. And for 3 years, this kind of worked. You know what I mean? They kind of, at least they didn't stir the pot. Right? Nothing stirred the pot. They didn't catch any attention. They didn't catch any charges, whatever. For 3 years, pretty uneventful lives. Although the two were regularly strung out on a concoction of different drugs like weed, cocaine, LSD, probably a few other things.
Trying to live that rock star life.
He really is. And Phillip later admitted to spending hours around this time watching elementary school age girls cross the street and at the playground near his house. And during this time, he would masturbate and fantasize about kidnapping them.
Starting to see some red flags here, man.
Yeah. He was doing more than just planning, too. He was also building a soundproof storage unit for which he intended to bring the girl or woman back to. It's basically, it was just in a storage facility, right? Like a warehouse. Mm-hmm. And he had this one unit that he was preparing. He had hung up rugs for soundproofing. He brought in a mattress with satin sheets. He brought wine and pornographic magazines.
Oh, really sprucing the place up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Garrido knew that taking a school-age girl at this time was going to be too risky. And so he ended up settling for a coworker of his wife's,
Okay.
Katie Calloway Hall. Yes. Katie worked at the casino with Christine. Okay. Philip asked Katie if she could just give him a ride home. But instead, once they got there, he tied her up, he gagged her, and took her to the storage unit that he'd set up. There he held Katie for 8 hours. Dude. She was only saved because a security officer noticed that the lock on the storage unit was broken and that the door was slightly open at the bottom. And so he went to check it out and found him.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, this guy was preparing to do something even worse. This guy he had plans,
Exactly.
obviously.
Basically caught red-handed right here. The police were called. Garrido was quickly apprehended. This time, though, Christine was done with his crazy ass. She's like, I'm out of here this time. I'm not standing by you.
Nope.
So she severed all ties with a divorce just in time for Philip to start his 50-year prison sentence. They hit him with a big one. They hit him with a big one. Don't get too excited yet. Because it wasn't long before he started talking to another woman while in prison. She was 4 years younger than him and the niece of one of his cellmates, Nancy Bocanegra?
Bocanegra? Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. But the two were married in 1981 by the prison chaplain.
Oh, a little prison romance. Okay.
So, right? So here he is, Philip, a fucking lucky ass, just a few years into his sentence. And the man is having regular sex with his new wife through conjugal visits and is studying psychology and theology in the meantime.
Ooh, and theology?
Yes.
Okay.
His religion now defines him. Andy.
Yes.
He has made a transformation.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I see the light now.
Yes. He was a born Catholic, but now he is a proud Jehovah's Witness.
Proud.
Very proud, apparently, because he even fooled the prison psychologist who believed he was completely reformed in his new faith and no longer a danger to society.
Wow. Jesus.
Dude, this guy, he honestly, at this point, and I've listened to interviews, there's a few crappy audio interviews. I may have used them for the episode. I've tried to clean it up if I did, but in all of his videos, he just sounds so full of shit, but he also sounds like the type of person that could talk someone into just about anything. Yeah. Because he seems so non-threatening. He really does. Like, he reminds me of Herb Baumeister.
Yeah. Okay.
In a way of like, you remember that Herb Baumeister interview where he's like complaining to the city council on his front lawn, right? And he's talking about, somebody killed a raccoon out on the street and they didn't even clean it. The line guys just painted right over the raccoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's complaining about all this shit, like just the audacity. He just seems like an upstanding citizen.
Yeah, very much so.
You know what I mean? And I think Philip was the same way. Mm-hmm. He had that same appeal to people. They just were like, this guy's just not threatening. Yeah. Well, no, not to you.
It's like,
but to a girl who is a third of his weight, he is, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like all the people who said that, Dennis Rader was just a weird guy. He's like, he's not threatening. He's not going to do shit. That's just Dennis. He's fucking weird. Yeah. And it's like, no, he's more than weird.
Yeah, way more than weird. But shockingly, Garrido was granted parole in 1988.
That's not 50 years.
1988.
That's not 50 years, Michael.
That's barely over 10 years, Sandy.
Okay. Great job, justice system.
Yep. And now he returned to Lake Tahoe to live with his wife, Nancy, his wife of now 7 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And once again, things go smoothly for a while. Like 3 years. It's like this dude can just go chill for 3 years and that's it, man.
Yeah.
After that, the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, the volcano's going to erupt.
Exactly. Because on the morning of June 10th, 1991, an 11-year-old girl was dragged into a gray sedan as onlookers, including her stepdad, watched in horror, trying to desperately get a tag number or anything. And unfortunately, no one saw anything that helped them identify the car other than it was a gray sedan.
Mm-hmm. And now this right here is where this story may remind some listeners, like it did me. As soon
Yes.
you may not have remembered the name.
This is where the headlines start.
Yeah, you may not have remembered the name of the perpetrator in this case, but a lot of you may remember the name of the victim in this case.
That's right. Because that 11-year-old girl was Jayce Dugard. Philip and Nancy took her back to California to a property in Contra Costa County. If you remember, where old Philip was born. It was Philip's mother's house. You see, she had dementia and was living in a primary care facility by now.
So he just took over the property for himself?
Pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha.
I think he moved in before she actually went to the facility and then just never left.
Yeah, obviously.
So in the backyard, he had built a kind of Mod Podge village of sorts. Just a combination of buildings, tarps, tents. They just littered the whole backyard, and it was difficult to navigate. It was very private. There's a lot of big trees and established bushes growing up between them and whatnot. You couldn't really tell what was what from the outside, which obviously is exactly what Philip wanted. But this makeshift shelter was where Jayce would spend the next 18 years. 18 years in this little backyard village. Dude, she was at the mercy of Garrido. He sexually assaulted her every day to the extent that she bore 2 children of his. 2 children.
I remember hearing about this story.
Headlines were shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, this was an absolutely just disgusting case that just shocked everyone. So, yeah, this guy it's surprising gone under our radar as long as it has, but still.
Well, not the public's radar, but he has gone, True Crime does.
Yeah, our
yes,
radar.
Yes. But he also went under the radar of police. Just how do you grant this guy parole?
Yeah, he's supposed to get 50 years in prison.
50 years? How do you grant him parole after, 11, 12?
After abducting, kidnapping, holding somebody against their will.
And now, during this release, he is supposed to be under watch.
Yeah.
Right? He is. But, we'll see how that goes. Because you wonder, how could this happen, right? This home is still in a neighborhood. Okay. And neighbors noticed the weird happenings at the Garrido property, and they finally had enough of it and called the police in 2006. But when a deputy arrived, he didn't check the backyard or run a background check, even though the backyard was mentioned in the call.
Oh my God.
They mentioned that they saw children in the backyard.
Yeah. And then some just dummy deputy walks out there and just doesn't want to be bothered or doesn't want to make somebody feel awkward.
For whatever reason, or maybe Garrido just, again, they're like, what is this guy going to do?
Right? He just is so non-threatening.
He's just non-threatening. He's well-spoken. You know what I mean? And he's fully convinced in what he believes.
Yep.
It's just those type of people have a lot of power by just playing the victim, basically.
Or just acting oblivious, playing, the ignorance, blaming ignorance.
Then there was another incident 2 years later where police and firefighters were dispatched to the home for a fire, and none of them claimed to see anything suspicious.
Some very observant, service workers around here.
Right. Yeah. All around. And social workers too, in this case. Like if you think the police and firemen mistakes are damning, dude, the social services and Department of Corrections, they really dropped the ball.
Really?
More than anybody on this case. So because Garrido was a convicted sex offender, he still had regular check-ins with the department agents. They were scheduled, some were unscheduled, and never, in the period of almost 2 decades, Andy, did one of these agents investigate the tents and buildings in the man's backyard.
Nobody ever probably looked back there. They probably just were like, this guy's maybe a hoarder or something, kind of trash village back there.
Now, it was said that at first glance, looking back there, right, there was like a long line. There was like a line of bushes that looked like the back of the yard, but you actually went through them, and that's where all the tents and buildings and tarps and whatnot were.
Yeah, much a bigger property than you can see.
Yeah, but it looked like his property ended before it did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. to their defense, maybe that, but that's just not enough, man. With this many complaints, you got to check this out thoroughly.
Yeah, especially when the neighbors call or somebody mentions the backyard specifically in the 911 call.
Yeah.
Why? Like, and the fact that there's not a second 911 call after that. Like the neighbors were not the neighbors didn't call again and be like, "Hey, did you even fucking do anything?"
Oh, they certainly did. They certainly did. Because his neighbors hated him, dude. Parents told their children to stay far away from his house. Even his few printing customers that he had stopped showing up. He was actually trying to run like a printing business, like an in-home printing company at the time. But when his customers would show up, dude, he would like sing weird songs to them about underage girls that he wrote.
He wrote.
He wrote, yes. He would tell them how he built a machine to communicate with God and ask them if they want to see it. Stuff that would make you maybe want to just go to Office Max next time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slowly start backing away towards the door and thank you for our service for a while.
I'm gonna shop around.
Yeah, I might get a second opinion. I think there was a sale down at Staples.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, he was also a writer, Andy. He had a whole blog that he wrote called Voices Revealed, where he tried to convince people of his special relationship with God. He also wrote a book called Stepping into the Light, which is a personal story about how he has dealt with his violent sexual urges.
Oh, was this book before or after prison? Last time.
Yeah, exactly. But he felt that he could help others, right, who struggle with these similar urges. It's like how by kidnapping someone and acting on them every day, you're not dealing with these.
Yeah, this was more of like a how-to instead of a how not to.
Yeah. But he thought he knew how not to so well that he should teach it. So he approached UC Berkeley College in California about doing a lecture. And during his interview with them, he actually brought with him his 2 daughters by Jayce. Okay? The audacity of this man. And they sat there and listened to their father talk about his awful past. Talk about sexual assault, talk about rapes, talk about all this awful things that he had committed. And the whole thing just came off weird to Lisa Campbell. At the time, she was the special events coordinator at UC Berkeley. And she was like, I got to tell somebody about this.
Yeah, this man is not right. Did you see those girls? Those girls did not move. That's not okay, right?
It's not right. So she ended up notifying Garrido's parole officer, and thank God she did. Because when authorities confronted Philip on August 26, 2009, he admitted to everything. He admitted to kidnapping Jayce and fathering 2 children by her. And Philip and Nancy were immediately taken into custody. Yeah, Nancy is still there.
Nancy knows she's the whole fucking time.
Nancy is still there. Like, it's like, I remember when I was first reading some articles about this story, when I was first learning, I was like, oh, I forgot about Nancy.
Like, Nancy is just there.
Nancy's still there.
She has just kind of blended in. Like, he's very clearly just kind of brainwashed her into like.
It does seem that way, yes.
Like she has just fallen for this guy in a very Jim Jonesian, almost cult leader type mentality. Right. Like she believes him. It seems
she did. She wanted to make him happy. She wanted to please him for whatever reason. But finally, on April 28, 2011, Garrido pled guilty to kidnapping and 13 counts of sexual assault. Nancy pled guilty to the kidnapping and 1 charge of aiding and abetting sexual assault.
One charge, okay.
There's 1 charge,
Nancy.
For 18 years. But their lawyers argued that the 2 found God in 97 and have been raising the children in a healthy family setting ever since.
What kind of fucking lawyers did you... I can't... Saul Goodman...
Listen, they found God in 97, Andy.
Where did...
They were just a big happy family since then. I don't know what you...
You may have found... God didn't find you, okay? Promise you right now. God's not listening. God's out here. God has a sign right there going like, don't you bring me into this shit.
Don't you bring me...
Keep my name out your fucking mouth.
Exactly. But I think Philip, he thought his confession would ease things for Nancy, but it really didn't. Nancy still got 36 years in prison, and she'll be 90 when she gets out, if she lives that long.
Yeah, Nancy, you kind of deserve it, woman. You let this happen. This wasn't something you didn't know about. This was something that was not like a serial killer who was doing these things,
like you said,
night.
it's like he brainwashed them into thinking that it was normal.
Yeah, that like this was his demons that he had to get out, and he had done what he had to do, and now that that was the past, and now we just have to live with it, and we'll just make, this is how we make up for our mistakes by raising the children. It's like no, you don't make.
You're still keeping. It's complicated, right? It's like those children are his responsibility now, but also they shouldn't be here in the first place. What the fuck?
It's a very fucked up situation
absolutely.
the whole time. Like I think if you remember, I think the movie was called like The Room. I want to say it was based off of the Jayce Dugard story.
Yeah.
But it came out several years ago, and it was a whole movie about a girl who got kidnapped as like a young teenager and was kept in a basically the same type of backyard storage unit for 18 years almost.
Yeah.
And had a child with the guy, and then that's how she got out, was by using her child to fake his death. But yeah, it was like a very similar story to or not Nancy's, but Jayce's.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I couldn't remember if it was actually based off of it or not, but yeah, it was that was the one thing I could remember is The Room, because Brie Larson won an award for it.
Oh, okay. Right on. So Nancy got 36 years, and Philip got a little bit more. He'll definitely die in prison unless he somehow gains immortality. Because he got 431 years.
I love when judges do that.
Right? Good behavior, religion, your way out of that one, bitch.
I love it. Because sometimes I hate when they do like, you get life plus this, or like you get 12 life sentences, you get 2 life sentences. Like, nah, I'm adding it up. I'm doing the math. 431 years. Put it in the books.
Put it in the
431 years. We're going to keep you here, and you're going to die here. And we're going to keep your bones here for 430.
Exactly. But that's what he gets, right? I mean, that's the kind of sentence you need to make sure, even if it gets reduced, right? You ain't getting out. What's he going to reduce it to? 200?
What are you going to No.
Reduce it to 110. Big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying, though? It's like, even if they did.
You cannot make up for what there's nothing you can do to make up for what he has done.
Absolute
you can't take back
society.
the life. Yeah, he took away 18 years of that girl's life, and
right? It's like okay, you guys argue that he was rehabilitated, right? That he changed his life. Well, then why was he still holding someone captive?
Mm-hmm.
If you changed your life, you wouldn't still be doing the same shit.
Yeah, you can't just pretend like I said, like washing away the sins. Like, well, I found God, so my sins are forgiven as long as I don't acknowledge them, and I just pretend like this is okay and normal.
Yeah,
and
that's all you got to do.
Yeah, if we just act like it's normal that I have a sex slave in the backyard tent village that I built, and she's got 2 children of mine out there, and my very passive Nancy wife over here is just yes-anding me the whole time. Okay, yep, she's not really giving any independent thought. All right.
Yeah, I guess it can feed your delusion.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do to take back what he has done, and like giving him that much still doesn't take back what he did to that girl, or how much of her life he took away.
No, it doesn't.
Or to that family.
It's an absurd story. I know there was a guy we covered in South Carolina, Todd Colehep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Was that me and you?
Yeah.
Or was that okay? Yeah, he did similar, right? He kept that girl in that trailer, in that like that shipping container.
Yeah,
for a while, like killed her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right? I think they were coming out there for, I don't know why. Was it Airbnb? Or
they were looking for maybe buying something
from him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ended up killing the boyfriend and keeping her for a while.
Yeah, it wasn't 18 years. But
no, not 18 years. But man, it just, who knows how long he would have kept her though. Mm-hmm. Probably not long because she was an adult.
Yeah.
She would have made his life hell, or so, I don't know.
He tried.
Who knows? It's awful. Absolutely awful. But both of these motherfuckers are in prison.
Yes, thank God. So, 431 years.
Yep. Stank in prison. They can't even get no oh my God.
No, 431 years.
Yeah,
you can't have it.
You can't have any. Can't have any oh my Gaia. Because we're keeping all that innovative, all natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil to ourselves. Aren't we, Andy?
Yes, we are.
And there's tons of scents to choose from for Oh My Gaia. There's vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk, coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle, fireside, bergamot amber, pear, sweet pea, sailor, barbershop, and so much more at ohmygaia.com. And don't forget the scent True Crime Pine. You can get it in the scented oil, the beard oil, or deodorant. And it has our old school True Crime Guys logo on it. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word CrimePine for 15% off your order. That's CRIMEPINE, no space, for 15% off your order. And that's at ohmygaia.com, OHMYGAIA.com, or at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram, guys. Great way to stay connected and up to date. All right. Anything else, Andy?
Nope, guys. Don't forget to check out Patreon.com.
Oh, yeah, of course.
For those ad-free early episodes.
That's right. That's some bonus content on there. But ad-free is the best part.
Yeah, the bonus content's just the cherry on top.
It's just the cherry on top, really. Get to hear uninterrupted episodes. Where do you get to hear that anymore?
Seriously. Tried to watch a movie on Hulu the other day.
Can't
Had
watch
ads.
nothing.
Ugh.
I can't watch a dang 30-second reel without a dang commercial.
Right?
It's crazy. Anyways, all right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see you next week with one more True Crime Guys case. I think it's headlines after that.
Think so.
All right, guys. Well, until then, just keep on creeping.
Bye.